So welcome, everyone. Very glad you're here. And I am very happy, very honored today to welcome Jennifer Ruth Russell to this beautiful audience. And I really hope that you will appreciate her presence and the energy that she shares, the light that she shares, which is just amazing and has blessed my life and thousands of other people's lives in so many ways. I'll just give a brief bio. Jennifer is a speaker, award-winning singer, author, spiritual teacher, and podcaster. And she often writes with Mother Mary and works with the assistance of the angelic realm. She's a wonderfully uplifting, sought-after speaker, inspires lightworkers who are stuck in fear to take back their power, especially around money and their visibility. So Jennifer's been a spiritual mentor for more than 17 years. She trained at Agape International Spiritual Center in Culver City, California, under the Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. Jennifer has mentored thousands of clients and students who are in the depths of financial lack and heartache to help them heal their hearts and lives by connecting to the light of their own divinity. Jennifer is the founder and director of Angels of Abundance Ascension Academy, guiding her students to dive deep into the mysteries of the higher realms to empower them become the oracles and healers they came here to be. And she's also an award-winning songwriter. She's written and recorded 11 CDs, which is wonderful, I think, and including her award-winning Virtue Songs A to Z for Children, which has been re-released as Angel Songs for the Little Ones. So Jennifer is also an author. She has two wonderful books, 21 Days to Abundance through the Immaculate Heart of Mother Mary, which I found just so encouraging, full of higher light, and then How to Create with Mother Mary and Friends, beautiful connection with this phenomenal being, Mother of Yeshua, Queen of Angels. And she calls them instruction manuals on a new way of creating through the divine feminine. Very, very relevant now. And now this third book has come out, and that's what we'll be talking to Jennifer about today, is Opulence Infusion, a New Faith Currency. And I just want to share, she also offers the morning light meditations at the angelsofabundanceacademy.com website. And that offers beautifully soft music, soothing guided meditations and light songs. I listen to them a lot, and they bring me right into my center, right into my peacefulness. It's very, very beautiful. The Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith has said that a moment with Jennifer is like immersing yourself in the inspiration of the best music and the love of a most powerful prayer. So fantastic. Welcome, Jennifer.
Welcome. I'm so delighted to be here. You know, we have to mention right up front that you and I co-wrote a song together via the collective. It's called I Am Golden, and I love that song, and thank you.
I've shared that EP. I've shared that a lot. It's really wonderful, and thank you so much for doing that. And I just took a phrase out of the Abundance for All book that I channeled from the collective and put it into a song. And fantastic. Well, let's talk about Opulence Infusion, and let's look at that title, because people say, well, how can you be infused with opulence? Opulence is something you see around you. So what are you talking about? If a very luxurious setting is something you sit in, and maybe you can absorb some of the energy, but how do you hold that in your own energies to begin with?
Well, I am grateful for this question and for all that we are doing here together, beloved Caroline. But you know that this opulence, it was presented to me as an eternal, it's indestructible. So it's like one of those eternal principles that is forever and always. And opulence was given to me as all needs met. And now that, the beautiful spirits of abundance that have spoken through you said, we don't want to use the word need. So we could say all that is required every moment, every time, all the time, no matter what. So it is like a provision. It is like an eternal provision. That's the definition that I've been given of opulence. And of course, the word itself just opens us up to think for more, expressing more than just squeaking by.
Well, at one point in the book, Lady Master Nada says, ask for more. And I was going to ask you about that, what she specifically meant for that in that chapter. what do you think, was that her point in that chapter, what you've just shared?
Absolutely. And this place of us really stepping into our partnership with the divine, with the company of heaven, with these beautiful beings that are here to support us. You know, we're coming out of the Piscean age, which was the child parent, you know, idea of like, oh God, please, 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 I'm trying to be a good girl, right? And we're stepping into this place of our own sovereignty, of our own power. And we need to stand in that holy truth that, you know, she says, command, demand that which you require is here. You know, ask for more. And it is so much, I loved the chapter that Fortuna came forth and spoke, you know, in your last book, The Spirit of Abundance. Beautiful. And it was the same theme, just in a little different way of there's no selfless service. You know, we don't have to make sure everybody else is placed before us before we can take any for ourselves. And the guilt of having, the worthiness of having, has been so much this journey for myself, you know, of coming into this place to allow myself to have more. So she was really addressing that, you know, commanding and demanding as it is so, because that is who we are. We're divine, you know, through this presence that we are divine authorities. And we have to start acting like that. That's what she was talking about.
Yes. So
Yeah.
opulence, like any kind of abundance, any kind of rich beauty and provision in the world or in the universe, is never separate from us. We're already in it. All you can do is close it off. You can't ever be really separate. You can push away the manifestation of it, but you're still one with that energy that flows through you. It flows through everyone.
Right. Everyone,
Yeah.
without question.
You know, people are getting a little nervous because these banks have been closing. And I'm wondering, you know, one of the reasons I channeled a book that just came out in January, which we were talking about, Messages from the Spirits of Abundance, which I think you're right, that the two books flow beautifully together. But one of the reasons I chose that and asked for help with that issue was because people are just really upset about the cost of living, and there'll be times when the cost of gasoline spikes and rents have gone way up and housing prices and food and on and on. And I'm wondering, did this book come about because of what's going on right now in the world, or did you get nudged by these beautiful beings that you channel from? You channel from a long list of them. They're absolutely wonderful. Did you get nudged by them, or did you say, hey, we need some help down here?
You know, I want to tell you the story because it's a precious story. First of all, you know, Mother Mary opened my heart to the divine feminine. She was the avenue when I read in Aurelia Louise Jones' book, The Seven Sacred Flames, that abundance flows through the heart of Mary, through the Immaculate Heart of Mary. I was like, what does that mean? That was my inquiry.
Wow.
Also combined with my coming up as a missionary kid in Africa, seeing a lot of lack there. We were wealthy there, but I think my dad made $8,000 a year. And then coming to the States, and we were so poor here, we had to like sleep, you know, 3 in a bed in motels crossing the country and share meals, and, you know, but we still were provided for. But I have come through a journey of financial, let me say, stupidity. Just like not knowing how to do money at all. And then feeling like I was left out of the party, and did all the prosperity programs. So there was a calling from my own heart to really know about abundance in my own life. And it came along with feelings of unworthiness. So that was the perfect opening. You know, whenever there's an intense question and asking, there's an answer. Yes. So Mother Mary, you know, when I started asking this question, I started realizing that I had no relationship with the divine feminine at all. I was raised with a fear of Father God, and, you know, trying to navigate that. I just put the whole thing aside for 20 years. I didn't go into a church. I couldn't do anything sacred for 20 years. And then I had this longing started to come back for, like, there must be a way for me to find my way back to God somehow. Mm-hmm. And the divine feminine comes in. I see a statue of Mother Mary. In fact, it's over there on my altar still. And I started just I heard a podcast from Elizabeth Clare Prophet with a new rosary, and I was like, oh my God. So I kind of tweaked it a little bit for what felt right for me. And I was in the Ukraine. I was doing music for a conference there, a spiritual conference. And the Divine Mother is absolutely prolific. I'm not saying the word right, but you know what I mean. There's lots of images of the Divine Mother everywhere. Everyone acknowledges the Divine Mother. Pictures of Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. And we were on a roadside attraction, and I saw this ancient picture. It was very dull. It was in a dark room. And I heard Mother Mary say to me, call my name, and said, I want to start talking to you every day. Oh. And it just, it's so precious to me still. And that began this place of bringing in the 21 days to abundance through the Immaculate Heart of Mother Mary. And then it's like I wanted more. and Saint Germain said in one of his writings, because Saint Germain brought in a lot of writings for us in this new age of Aquarius. And I Am Discourses was kind of my first entry into his teachings, bringing his teachings through the Ballards and Geraldine Innocente. And somebody was asking about supply, and he says, why don't you just go towards gold? Why don't you just precipitate gold? Yeah. Just go for the gold. You can, And I was like, all right, I'm going to take that on as a challenge. And that was early 2019. And I started meeting with him, and this Pure Gold project started to form before my eyes in the quietness of my altar. I just started getting messages every day. It turned out from precipitating pure gold, because I realized that I have a lot of feelings about gold in this world that weren't pure, that we've had an experience of gold here that isn't its original intent. And it seems to bring out the worst in us. And so it became a new faith currency, a new exchange, a new way of riding the waves of this time. Caroline, I'm so glad you spoke into that about, what about now? What about when the banks are going to be falling apart, when the rents are going to go sky high, COVID, all the stuff that's been happening to us? This is for now. This currency is for now. That's what the Opulence Infusion is. It's a new faith currency.
Now, when you use the term, or any Ascended Master uses the term precipitate, do they mean vibrate with the reality of, or manifest outwardly, or what is meant by that, do you feel?
The mighty Elohim came through these teachings that I was just talking about and gave us 7 steps to precipitation. And that's how they created this solar system. With Helios and Vesta, they gave them a divine blueprint. They said, we want you to build this solar system, which includes our Earth. And they call it precipitation. We would call it's more than manifestation, though, because to me, it is almost what we've seen some of the yogis do in India, from out of nothing, something will be created. Out of the nothingness of the universe, we can create. And so we're coming into a new remembrance, I'd say, of how to absolutely manifest and create what we need now.
No, it's creation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's creation.
Design and creation. That is so beautiful. That really gives us the reins and says, this is yours to create. So then over time, did you feel like, well, this book is the next natural step?
Actually, I was not quite ready when Saint Germain said to me, and Mother Mary, it's time. It's time. Okay. It's time. So it seems like most of my books come in through this avenue of my Angels of Abundance Ascension Academy. So I just put out the call. I said, who wants to take this course, Opulence Infusion? Who wants to be the circle that receives, and absolutely, as you know what that's like, Caroline, when somebody's asking a strong question and their personality is involved, there's answers that come through that wouldn't if you're just trying to make this up in your head, right? And you're just channeling for yourself. And so a beautiful community formed around this book. And we just started doing a message every day. And then, and I was like, are we sure we're ready? And they're like, yes, you're ready. Let's go. So it was kind of like, riding on those high waves of ascension. You just kind of have to go, stay grounded and keep moving forward. And that's kind of how this book began. And then, oh, that was phase one. Now there's phase two of this book. And the phase one is the structure, the scaffolding, what is New Faith Currency? What is the Gold Lab? How do we calibrate? How do we recalibrate? How do we stay? What's a golden mist? What are these things that were given to me? Second part of the book is how to practically put them into use. And then the golden white unicorns are like, oh yeah, but we are going to take this whole project to another level. And so here we go from a 21 lesson or day book that I've done in the past to full on 55 chapters in this book. Yeah. So
we want to reassure everyone they're only a few pages long, each one. they're direct, they're beautifully
this big.
Yes, yeah, it doesn't go on forever. It's not 80 pages. It's only 2, 3, 4 pages, and from different beautiful beings. And I love that. So did each one just pop in, whether it was an ascended master, an archangel, or the golden white unicorns, or this? At one point, you speak with a companion and guide who is a crystal called Constance. But did they just pop in?
Yes.
All of them? Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, this is Constance right here. I absolutely go to the lab, and the lab is where everybody hangs out. It is the frequency of this currency. It is where we continually need to go and recalibrate and calibrate and be because it's a vibration, just like we know, it's like turning on the dial of a radio station. Opulence, abundance flows from a certain level, and the team just started to build, and as I was waiting for a message, someone would pop in, like Manna from Telos, came in, quite a while ago in a wonderful solstice retreat we did with our Lemurian family. And Manna here is this. He's not really a rebellious teenager, but he's a real idealist and a tech geek. And so he's like, I'm on this team. And I was like, okay, come on, let's go.
Teenager in Telos is a little older than a teenager on the surface of the earth, mind you.
That's right. That's right. He said he was 113 years old, which is they're adults when they're 200. So
Yeah.
yes, but he's been a profound teacher to me of the way to just let go and have fun with this stuff. It doesn't have to be so serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. So that's where you mentioned the lab. That's the Pure Gold Lab, and that's where there's a point of creation of gold there, or a point of vibrating with the energy of it, and then you create what you wish once you move into that vibration.
It is. It's in the 10th sphere, which is the sphere of infinite abundance, eternal peace, and the God supply of all that is good. And it is a gold ray. It is a gold sphere. I see it actually as, a bandwidth in our universe, and it's a city. You go to this beautiful city and you enter into the Temple of Gold, where the lab is in the gold. In that temple, they're one and the same. So the golden lab and the Temple of Gold are in the same place. But I've been discovering lately there's other rooms in this temple. But basically, it's like, come here and let us calibrate you. There's a beautiful chamber there that you come and sit in a different dimension substance. It looks almost like a recliner chair to me. And you receive this calibration of this new frequency. And it comes in through light codes. It comes through sacred geometry. A whole bunch of different things have been given to me, the golden mist, and it's all from this city of gold. As we get towards the end of this book, as you become a living transmission of opulence, there was this whole, because it's a pyramid lab, okay? It's in a pyramid shape. And coming into this place of being a living transmission of opulence, which I want everyone to hear this again, is that that's the high purpose of this book, of this movement, if you want to call it, to really empower everyone to become a living transmission of opulence. And there is a whole method given to us of how to do that. And actually this beautiful pyramid comes down, absolutely covers you completely. So as you're walking in this beautiful golden lab on this planet now in the 3D.
Wow, that
Yeah.
that is really amazing. But you you enter that in a meditative state? Because now people are going to say, well, where's it located? But it's in the etheric.
It is. It's in the etheric. It's in the etheric, which to me is as real as here. But we're still having a hard time believing that because, you know, we can't see it with our senses or touch it. But it's definitely real. It is a place to go to in your meditation, in that place of stillness. A lot of times when I come in, because these messages keep coming out weekly for my community, and the next book is already half done, right? But I'll be going, okay, what's the message today? Oh, you need to come to the Golden Temple, to the lab, and recalibrate before any message can come through for this project.
That's interesting. Gold has an incredibly high vibration. So it kind of restores us to the center that connects to the higher self very much more, I think. It's also
Absolutely.
Have you heard that they say, in fact, what's coming in right now to this planet is monoatomic gold dust from the sun, these powerful solar rays. That is gold dust.
Golden mist, it's here.
So is that what you mean when you talk about the golden mist?
It's the same. It's, the thing that I'm finding happening, and maybe you are too, Caroline, is that what's coming in is being interpreted in different ways, but it's the same thing. And that's what I would say absolutely about the golden mist.
Well, I just want to let everyone know as well, the group I channel, the collective, the spirits of abundance, all of these beautiful beings in this book, which are almost too many to mention in Jennifer's book, Opulence Infusion. They're all here. They're all flowing energies to us as Jennifer's speaking. So just be aware of that you're here for the energy work, your higher self. I'm glad you're here for that, and not just passion, even though I find it's fascinating to ask about these sorts of things. But I'm wondering also, did anybody come in to speak who you were sort of surprised would come in? Archangel Raphael comes in, one thing, and I think of him as healing, physical, mental, emotional healing, but he comes in very strongly. And I think he speaks about the power of attention in that moment.
Focusing the third eye. Yeah, the third eye focus is so much, because he's also the archangel of manifestation. So, when I learned about the green ray is the same ray of healing, and it is the same ray of manifestation. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's all the same, right? We think we're healing parts of our body. We're healing everything all the time, no matter where it is located. Right now, I think I'm still healing some of that it's okay to have, I'm still healing. I'm still, and I use healing in that, the meaning of I'm coming back to my true self. I'm coming back to who I really am.
Oh, very, very beautiful. And the true self is 100% abundant, 100% prosperous, as well as healed. And we, in fact, things are in such beautiful balance vibrationally, we don't have to worry, we don't have to stress on a higher self level ever. When we're being our most authentic self, even if some disturbance in the force happens, we're still centered. So there's a beautiful process that's described near the start of the book regarding the Temple of Pure Gold. And I felt kind of transformed reading this. I want to say to everyone, listening, that you're going to be reading this book and feel at times like it's similar to maybe Lord of the Rings, because it feels kind of mystical and it takes you on a journey. It really does. Very, very beautiful. So what is the Pure Gold Project?
The Pure Gold Project is a collective of beings from all different places in the universe, including you, because we are part of the ground team. And it's really important for us to acknowledge this, because without us here, just like without me here feeling like I had no experience of financial wellness and I felt unworthy, that was the opening for bringing in what I needed to know. And this new faith currency, that's why as things change so much in this world, we are the ground team. This project is going to continue to go on and on. And I know there's vast beings that are on this project that I haven't even recognized yet. And I think it's really important for everyone to hear that you are a part of this gold project. Pure, it's always called Pure Gold. Pure Gold Project. You are a part of it for sure.
Because the gold that you and I might see is if we buy gold earrings, for example, that isn't really gold in its highest expression. It's been downgraded a bit. That's something I channeled. But what you mentioned, pure gold, that's the stuff that is of the higher realms. And it carries this powerful vibration that once we connect with it, we stop doubting after a while. After you've connected with it a while, you'll stop stressing about money.
Yes, and in the ancient times where there were deposits of gold, they said that the gods had come through here, so it is a divine substance. It is the divine substance, and it really cannot be tainted by humanity and our need or our like, oh, we just want to take it, and use it, whatever that stuff is, because we feel like we've been abandoned, right, in this place of being taken care of.
Yeah, an undercurrent of desperation.
Yes.
When we receive, we wonder, is this going to be enough? Or there's a grasping sense of I can't spend any money because I'm afraid that it'll go away if I do that. And actually the opposite of an abundant vibration, which I don't judge anyone for that because it's how we've been raised. But when you talk about a new faith currency, you're talking about our connection to the higher realms. This is how I take it. Our connection to these higher realms in meditation and in the spirit, which then flows into how we deal with life and how we receive every good thing, how we receive all forms of abundance. Currency just means flow. We talk about the current of a river or a stream. It's always a flow of movement. And what we've been taught to do, unfortunately, is to cling to money fearfully, or to decide there's not enough of it, there's not enough of a flow toward us. And this is a totally different mindset, which is really beautiful. And I love how practical these chapters are as well. And I'll try to quote a little bit from it. But okay, let's look, for instance, at pogoing. Tell us what that is.
Well, that's what Mana is the name of the teenager from Telos. And he took me on this journey. And it was right after I was given the golden mist. And I have to say, too, that there's music that was received during this project, light songs that I've recorded, and it's called Opulence. You can find them anywhere. But it goes along with this book. So I started getting the feeling like these are going to be given in ways that are beyond what we think we know about. And, light codes, sacred geometry, songs. Mother Mary said, you've got to sing the songs because this is how people are going to receive this new faith currency. They're going to be able to start feeling it. But pogo was right after I heard about the golden mist, which we just talked about briefly, but the golden mist is start seeing this everywhere because it flows everywhere. And pogo, Mana literally took me by a lake and he said, I want to show you how to use this. So he said, here's a pogo stick. It's literally a pogo stick. in the etheric. I'm sorry, I need to keep saying that. And I'm going to get on mine and let's go. Just start pogoing, and notice that every time your pogo hits the ground, a new flash of light, because we were in a rainbow light kind of area, with all the rays going. And every time you'd see different flashes of beautiful light. And he said, now look at it when the golden mist, through the golden mist. He said, this is what you need to do. Here's a bill. This is so practical. Here's a bill that's come for you to pay, and it seems like it's way too high for you to pay at this moment. Pogo it. See the golden mist absolutely right there. And it's another way of commanding, to pogo it. This is way too out of that old term, I can't afford it, and I really want this, but I can't afford it. Pogo it. I pogoed my beautiful baby grand piano that's sitting in the other room. I was like, there's got to be a way, because I know this is a desire of my heart. Pogo it. And so I'm just giving that to you today. Pogo your bank account. Pogo anything in your wallet. Just see the golden mist flowing out from you. And every time you spend money, you're distributing the new faith currency, because it already has a golden mist in it.
It's so wonderful. I was so happy with this chapter, because it uses our imagination and our ability to visualize in a very, very active way. So Mana says, let me give you an imaginary pogo stick. Go ahead, get on it, practice bouncing. I'm bouncing with you. Notice that every time you pound on the ground, you're activating different colors of the rainbow. And what's interesting is that I could image this really easily. It's like the colors just shot out from wherever that pogo stick hit the ground. And he says, now focus on pure gold essence, the golden mist. See it spark and grow wherever you land. Use it for everything. What do you need? Pogo it. It's so much fun. And I keep thinking that. I've been doing that more, that pogo stick hits the ground, activates different colors. And then I see the golden mist sparking and growing everywhere that stick hits onto the pavement or whatever. I kind of see it on like a pavement of like where I was when I was a little kid in Maine. And it's just, it's the sort of thing, I think that's probably the last time I tried a pogo stick, but I don't know how to use it, but it's just so much fun to have these images. And he says, activate the faith currency with your intention and command. Just say, I pogo this and this and this. You're activating the golden mist, which is the divine energy, to expand at that point, in that place, in that situation. And he says, use it everywhere and give thanks. Pogo, all needs met every time, all the time. I just love that to bits. It's so much fun. But okay, let's go back to, I want to talk about Constance and other people you meet, but let's go back for a moment to the Opulence light codes. That's fascinating. You do hear people talking about light codes. Now, what does it mean in terms of opulence?
The light codes were given to me, and I think this is what I think about those light codes, is that they are given to each one of us in our own way. So I don't want people to get attached to this as the only way to receive them, right? Because once again, remember, this is a high, rarefied, the 10th sphere, we could even say the 10th dimension is way up there, right? We really don't know how to be there yet, because we're here. We're multidimensional, yeah. But these beautiful way of receiving the light codes, and when I was right between, that early morning time when you're not quite sleeping heavily, but you're not awake yet, these sheets of luminescent gold just started flowing down, kind of like the old TV, when it used to run, used to get those lines that would just run. They look like that, just over and over and over again throughout my entire being, my body. And I was like, what is this? Mother Mary said, these are the light codes. You're receiving them, receive them now, receive them, receive them. And so I just allowed them to be. And then it was like, well, what do I do with these? And it was like, you don't have to do anything except just receive them and know that they're here, and start living as if they are here. So that's the light codes. They have, and this is the new opulence light codes. Because we are learning to receive and distribute on a higher level. We don't have to work hard. do this, do this, do this, receive a little bit of money so we can squeak by, and then do this, do this, do this. As you know, we've talked about this so much, Caroline. But it's like, this is a new way of being. Receive this new way of being.
Yeah, wonderful. Oh, I love it. You know, it's true. We kind of wonder where the help is and why won't it arrive. And the fact is, in a free will universe, you have to call in assistance, and you also have to take the time to realize what vibrational support is there, not only in the form of, say, an archangel or ascended master or your guides or whomever, your higher self, but there are certain vibrational realities we can tap into just by thinking about them and giving thanks for them. And that can be everything. Absolutely. Well, let's talk about Constance. I know she's a special companion and guide for you. Did she just start talking at some point for this book, or did you want to bring her in?
You know, this is Constance. This is a crystal I just picked up at a crystal shop maybe 12 years ago. And as I've been getting to know her, she's been communicating more and more with me, usually in just the stillness, like, bring me along so I can record what's happening. You know, I want to record what's happening for you. I noticed that the nights when I take her to sleep with me, I have the most beautiful dreams. But she did one day say, I want to write a chapter in this book. And so she wrote about the crystals and how they're such beautiful portals for us. And, you know, she's saying, I want to write another chapter. Okay.
I would love to read a whole book from you, from just crystals.
Oh my God.
You know, as I was saying earlier, I totally understand that we're not raised to think of a crystal as being awake and alive and a sentient being who can relay messages to us telepathically, assist us energetically, be our friend, be our support. I mean, we weren't raised with that. We were raised with, oh, this is a pretty rock or a mineral or something that you found. That's nice, you know. And it's only within, I think, our lifetime that people begun to really wake up and start remembering what we knew a very long time ago. Yes. Atlantis and Lemuria. The great crystals still exist. They were never completely destroyed, and they're very powerful. And I'm just, you know, the pre-scientists carried them into inner earth to protect what was left of them, and we're very, very thankful for that. Well, let's go to, there's 3 parts of the book. Again, we're talking about Opulence Infusion with Jennifer Ruth Russell, wonderful author and songwriter and singer and spiritual teacher, speaker, and podcaster, everything. So the part 2 of the book is called Let's Get Practical. And Sacred Fire is one of these chapters. Can you speak to us about that a little bit?
This sacred fire is, we could call it the sacred energy. It's for us to use. It is what we are to conduct as light workers. You know, we're called light workers. Well, this light travels on rivers of fire, or you could call them rays. You know, it's interesting because the rays are rays until they hit you, and then they become a flame. You know, which is so, it's just a wonderful way to think about it, because it's just like opulence is a sacred fire. Sacred fire is what we can use to speak our word into it. We can call it into action. I set my beloved I am presence into action, and I command the descent of the sacred fire here and now in the form of the violet fire, in form of the healing ray, in form of opulence, whatever that is. We are conductors of it. And it is time for us to start really stepping up to what is ours to do here, because we're creating the divine new earth now. You know, and it's time for us to step out of our victim consciousness, which is a very important step. We all needed to go through the victim consciousness to transcend it, to go into, I was given these 4 stages of spiritual awakening. And I think too, there are 4 steps of our ascension. The first is the victim consciousness. It's happening to me. Everything's happening to me. And then the second one is, well, it's happening by me. We start getting into that place of manifestation, using our minds, spiritual practice, principles of the universe, right? So that is, it's happening by me. And then it's happening through me, which is more of a feminine I'm welcoming this. I'm calling this in. I'm calling in this sacred fire because I need a physical healing now. I'm going to receive this beautiful sacred fire of healing, and all the angels that serve on this, and all the elementals that just standing in that place of receiving the sacred fire. And then, so it happens to me, it happens by me, it happens through me. And then we come into the perfection of, oh, I am it. I am. It is I. I am that I am. So we are moving through that and transcending from that victim consciousness into the I am. And this is our privilege, Caroline. This is our privilege here and now to conduct this sacred fire. What is required here? Oh my God, we can see it. We can see anywhere we look in this world, we can see, oh my God, we need some divine love here. We need that transcendent love that heals, that liberates right here, right there in Ukraine and Russia. I command and draw forth the sacred fire love right there to fill this country, to fill every human being, everybody on the ground, every elemental being, everything. I command it so.
And fire is a transmuting element. It's very powerful, and it's a purifying presence as well. And it's probably what we really powerfully need right now.
Let me just say one more thing about this, because if you don't know the rays, it's just like electricity. You don't have to know all of them to use them, right? But if you know about sacred fire, you can just say, from the divine authority I am, and from the high octaves of the angelic host, I command the sacred fire to feel this now. You can just say sacred fire love. You don't have to know all the details. You just flip on the switch. Sorry, that's all I wanted to say about that, to complete that.
No, that is fantastic, because our spirit will reach out for the right thing and the right vibration, and we don't have to stress that the mind always has to be completely aware of everything happening. This is what's interesting about channeled work, is that it brings in vibration very powerfully, and people are so looking for information now, like when's Nasara going to happen, and what's going to go on with the banks, and is it better to use a credit union, and on and on and on, all these questions. And it's not, the answers are going to be found vibrationally. I'm sure of that. And our obsession is found vibrationally. You're going to have to come out of that left brain obsession with new info. And I can tell you. But before we close, and I so appreciate your describing all of this, Jennifer, because it's so wonderful. Tell us about the golden white unicorns. Then they speak in part 3, and they're really wonderful. So how did you come across them, and who are they?
I started to understand and get to know the unicorns through Diana Cooper's work. And just the idea of unicorns was always like, I don't know, and now I understand them to be one of the high, purified, rarefied, maybe the highest that we can even imagine in the angelic kingdom. And then Mother Mary said, yes, and I'm a unicorn master. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, okay. And by the way, I am not just speaking to you from Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus. I am speaking to you as a high Archangel Mary, the first, the original, the unicorn master of them all. And, the overlighting of Isis. And Isis was absolutely the one that is the overlighting of Mary, Mother Mary. So this whole lineage came in at the same time that I'm understanding now. And the unicorns lifted this whole project up. Tom, my personal unicorn, said, it's time for us to speak about this. And I checked in with the team. Saint Germain is one of my main, we're all here because of Saint Germain, this age of Aquarius. He is the avatar for this age. So I was like, and so I feel like all of our work that we're all doing is to absolutely this age of freedom and justice. That's what we're doing. And he said, in fact, it's a quote, I got to read it because I don't want to get wrong. The golden white unicorns will lift this project, Opulence Infusion, into an entirely new level of manifestation. The unicorns will make it real. They will bring their magic and transformation in real, tangible ways that will open every light worker to receive more. You notice that, to receive more, because the unicorns started coming in recently because our light quota is getting higher and higher. Every time we have a moon, right here, we have a causal. This is our crown chakra. Our causal is right up above that. This is our moon chakra. And if we want to participate in bringing more unicorns in, which basically will lift the vibration of this planet so quickly, do it on the moons, because Archangel Christiel, who just came in, because we're finally high enough to start attracting higher beings on this planet. We're starting to raise our light quota enough.
Yes.
And Christiel is just the pure Christ light, right? And these unicorns are so helpful. They are, I mean, if you want to take blessing, that sounds like a word that we use a lot. But if you want to take to the highest place that you can even imagine a blessing, that's what the unicorns do.
I really feel their spirits as you start talking about them. I really feel their presence. I feel they're here, and they're with everybody right now listening. And I'm really thrilled that all of this is so consciously available to us now. I think it's probably been buried deep in our subconscious from other lives in which we weren't so suppressed and oppressed. But it's time to release all that now and just see ourselves as the bearers of the key holders to astounding wisdom and beautiful, beautiful guidance. And we don't have to feel locked out of that anymore. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what this book is about. And it's so much fun to read because, like I say, one of the reasons is the chapters are so short. You could just read 2 or 3 chapters a day, wouldn't take you long, and you feel just so enlivened by it. It's so encouraging. And again, the book is Opulence Infusion, a new faith currency, and you can find it on Amazon. It's doing well there on Amazon. A lot of people enjoying it. And the author is Jennifer Ruth Russell. And we're just so thrilled to have had you here today, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you.
People feel the resonance, the beauty of your presence and your message, and all these. You stand with giants, really. They lifted you up with them. It's really, really beautiful. And
thank you for the honor of being here and giving space for this new magical and also very practical project we are working on. And thank you for being part of it with me, beloved.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. More than happy to give you a little bit of a platform anyway. And I want to stress the book is very practical and full of beautiful decrees and beautiful insights and images to carry with you and to start using. Put that in, as they say, your spiritual tool belt, and start using it and be glad for it, because we're not alone in all of this. And never mind what the news says about the economy or this or that, or what you can apparently earn right now or not. Your backyard, all of our backyard is the universe. It's
That's
not
right.
a matter of what seems to be there at the moment.
And use your imagination in your spiritual practice. It's so much a language of the universe. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Jennifer. Huge blessings, much love. And again, just want to let everyone know there's beautiful higher beings flowing energy to you throughout this interview. And if you invite them, they'll continue to work with you. And it's been a real honor. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you to everyone listening, and much love. Namaste.
Namaste.